Hi everybody, it's Nikki here, and say with me, it's Bookgammon time! Yes, it is that time of the month where we play my TBR game, which is Bookgammon, based off the board game Backgammon, to help me pick my TBR for the upcoming month. And today we are picking for January 2023. Can you believe I have been playing this game for 2 years now? We're doing the second anniversary of my TBR game. So let me put the girl down, because you know she gets noisy. So yes, I am back in January for another game of Bookgammon, and we're going to go back to the old way of playing her. I'm going to be playing with 2 pieces on the board. I've been kind of taking it easy on myself for November and December because my mental health was struggling, and also because of my mental health, my reading was beginning to suffer. But I do feel that over the Christmas period, I have managed to get some of my mojo back, and December has been a better reading month than November, so I'm hoping that I'm back. I'm coming back. And also as well, January always seems like a refresh for me. I always feel very invigorated, raring to go, you know, ready to take on the new year. Whereas in December, sort of like November, December, I kind of get a little bit like, oh, I didn't really do much this year, did I? And it gets me down, and I shouldn't do that to myself, but I do. It's the way my brain works, and we all know it doesn't work properly. So yes, we're at that. So let's start with housekeeping as always. Now, normally the first point of housekeeping is our priority picks, which are the books that are on the current month's TBR that I don't think I'm going to get to before the end of the month, so they become priority picks for the next month's picks. However, it's December and I'm going into the new year with a fresh new thing. I don't want to be bringing in anything from the old and dragging it over to the new year. We're going to start fresh. I think that's going to be the rule in December to January, is no priority picks, because it's nice to start the year afresh. It just is. And look, there are some books that I didn't get to in December that were dragged over from November, and I figure, you know, I'm just not in the mood for them, obviously. So let's get on to the bomb token and the star token. So every month, generally, normally, when I'm not being nice to myself, I'm quite mean to myself sometimes, I play the bomb token and the star token. The bomb token is for a book that I really don't want to read, or I'm intimidated by it, or it scares me somehow, or it's just one that I'm a little apprehensive of. And the star book is one that I really want to read. I'm very excited about it. It's a 5-star prediction, possibly. So yeah. So let's talk about the star book first. Let's start with a positive. So my star book for January is going to be The Righteous by Renee Ahdieh. This is book 3 in the beautiful series. I believe book 4 is due out in 2022. Not sure when. Is it due out in January, February time? Something like that. Maybe March. I don't know. I will have to check my list. I do have it on my anticipated releases for 2023. I just haven't checked it recently. So I don't know. I have a brain like a zoo. But yeah, I did read The Damned in November? December. One of the 2 months. I read it within the last 2 months. So I am ready to move on to book 3. I'm really enjoying this story. The keywords for this series is basically vampires, New Orleans, historical. What more could you want in a star book? Very excited for this one, and I absolutely love that dress. I want that dress. I would wear it every day. I was completely born in the wrong era, I swear, because I would love to wear those. Oh, big bubble. Wasn't concentrating on what I was doing there, was I? I would love to wear those big dresses. I was definitely born in the wrong era. Although I would have probably been hung as a witch if I was born 100 years earlier, because I don't I don't take things lying down, basically. I will argue. So, moving on quickly. My bomb book for January. I don't know why I'm doing this to myself. Why am I doing this to myself? Why am I doing this to myself? This is a series that has been sat on my shelves for quite a few years. I found all of these books secondhand. I have heard nothing about them. I just found them in secondhand shop, and it was at a time when I was buying anything that looked vaguely fantasy, epic fantasy. It's Tad Williams' Shadow March. Know nothing about this. This was on, I showed this in my Intimidated Reads video that I did a while back. Epic tale of magic, mystery, duty and betrayal. Tad Williams' Shadow March trilogy is destined to become a classic of modern fantasy. I have 4 books. How is it a trilogy? Oh, maybe I've got, maybe it started as a trilogy and ended up a foursome. I don't know. Ding. Oh, I'm popular. So yeah, this is going to be my bomb book. Fingers crossed. She's nice to me. She's been nice to me. Bookgammon has been nice to me for the last 2 months. I'm not holding that much hope. To be fair. So yeah, bomb book and star book sorted. So let's roll to gameplay and see. Oh, I'm so dreaded this. Like, really, what's she gonna do to me? No idea. She's been really nice recently, but I said before, she was lulling me into a false hope, I'm sure. So I'm apprehensive. So let's roll gameplay and see what Bookgammon has in store for me for January 2023 TBR. Okay, so let's remind ourselves of the categories. We have red for thriller, pink for contemporary, orange for classics, green is for middle grade, yellow is for graphic novels and mangas, purple is for non-fiction, and blue is for fantasy and sci-fi. We will be playing with 2 pieces today. So let's place our bomb book and star book. So for our bomb book, oh, glare, let's find out what space that's going on. 11. So 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Oh no, it's taking up a fantasy space. Okay, for our star book. Ooh, the last one, it's on space 24, which is right over here, right at the end. Oh no, that does not bode well. Let's do our first roll. A 2 and a 5. Okay, so 1 and 2, so that's a middle grade, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, a contemporary. Okay, so I have my prompts here. I forgot to give them a shuffle, so let's do that now. Oh! It's been so long that I've shuffled these that messed that up completely. So they're all shuffled, so let's take the top one. And the pink for contemporary is set near or on a beach. Oh, not the time to be reading that kind of contemporary. And the middle grade is a debut. So I just need to find a debut book. It doesn't have to be a new debut. It can be a backlisted debut, but it has to be an author's first book in middle grade. So that's that one. For roll number 2. 2 and a 4. Okay, I'm going to move this one 2. 1, 2 for a fantasy, and this one 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ooh, a non-fiction. So for the non-fiction, we have a TBR mug. Yes. And then for the fantasy, we have About Faye. Yes, definitely. I like that. Oh, we're very close to this bomb book. Oh no. Remember, if I get a 2, I have to land on that bomb book. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I can't land on it with this one, but I could land on it with this one. Oh no, I'm so scared. can't see because it's off camera, but look what I got. Oh, that one's cracked. Can you see that? Hang on. Can you see that crack in that dice? Oh, me dice. Okay. Might not be using these much longer. I got a 2, so I have to move it. 1, 2. So this one, we get the bomb book. She's back. The bitch is back. So that means we get the bomb book and we have to remove the Starbook token. Oh. But we have to move this one 5. So let's see what this one lands on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Another non-fiction. Let's see what the prompt is for the non-fiction. So the prompt for non-fiction is more than 4 words in the title. So, yeah, we'll do that one. God damn it. Okay. Our 4th roll. A 6 and a 5. Okay. I'm going to move this one 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we land on a fantasy. And this one's 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And this one's a middle grade. So the middle grade is over 450 pages. And the fantasy is sequel of the last series I started. Okay, I will have to check December's TBR for that and read the sequel to the last series that I started. Not that I was already in the middle of, but that I've started in December. So we have a couple of choices there. So very happy to get that. So on to roll number 5. 1 and 4. Ooh. I'm going to move this one 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 for another fantasy. You know it's my favourite genre. And then move this one 1 for contemporary, which is my least favourite genre. Oh well. Okay, so. Oh no. For contemporary, it's a random number generator, which means I count how many contemporaries I have, and then I do a random number generator to decide which one I'm reading. Yay. And then for fantasy, it's a 5-star prediction. Now, I've not done my 5-star predictions for 2023 yet, so I will have a look and see what I think I'm going to absolutely love. On to roll 6. Can we get this one home and then just be left with this one? I hope so. Ooh, we got a double 6, which means that as per the rules, when the double is an even number, we are able to move forwards. But if we get an odd double, then we have to move backwards. So we are okay at moving forwards. So this one is going home. 1, 2, 3. And it's home, but this one has to move 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Another fantasy. So the prompt for this is a blank of blank and blank. So there are a lot of fantasy novels that have this kind of formula of titles. So, you know, I can think of quite a few books that this prompt can fill. Now, normally at this point, I would remove one of the dice because I only have one piece, but I realised that when that happens, I don't have the worry of getting an odd number double, which would move me backwards. So I'm going to keep the 2 dice in the game, and if I do get an odd numbered double, then I will move backwards. But if I get at least one of the numbers that is more than 4, as 3 would land me on the middle grade. If I get more than 4 on one of the dice, then I can move in. But if both dice are less than 3, or 3 or less, then I will only move forward one of the dice. I hope you understand that. Okay, so I did get a 5, which is more than spaces on the board. So that means I can go home. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that is January's Bookgammon TBR over and done with for another month. She was mean. But to be fair, she's been pretty easy on me for 2 months now. So she was due. She was due. Damn it. What did I bloody say? What did I say? What did I say? The bitch is back. I knew when the star book landed on the 24th space that chances of me getting that was going to be 0. Oh well, I guess I have had 2 easy months, so let's go for it. Okay, so for roll number 1, our first book was a middle grade, and for that I needed to read a debut. So I had a look on my shelves and I have picked out this one. This is Alex Neptune Dragon Thief by David Owen. And it's beautiful sprayed edges from Waterstones. And it does say at the back that Alex Neptune is the author's first series for younger readers, born of his love for nail-biting heists, fantastical monsters, and heartfelt friendships. I believe that he has written YA novels before, and his actual debut novel was Panther, longlisted for the Carnegie Medal, and was followed by 3 further highly acclaimed YA novels. So he has written previous novels for the YA genre, but or category, but this is his debut middle grade, and I figured that fits the prompt. It's also a very short book because we have a couple of chonkers on this list today, so I needed something quick and easy. Plus as well, no, I thought there was more pictures in here than there is, but never mind. This one is only 247 pages, so it should be a quick read. Should be a quick read. So that's that. It says, for as long as Alex Neptune can remember, the ocean has been trying to kill him. So yeah, that's that one. The second prompt for roll number 2 was a contemporary, and for this one, the prompt was set near or on a beach. Not quite the time of year that I want to be reading a beach read, but hey, let's go for a beach read. Get it? Beach read? Anyway, so this is Emily Henry's beach read. 2 writers, 1 holiday, a rom-com waiting to happen. I read one of her other books. What was her other book that I read? What was her other book? Book Lovers. Was it Book Lovers? I read Book Lovers and thoroughly enjoyed it. And contemporary is not quite my genre, but I did enjoy Emily Henry's writing, so I went and I purchased a couple more of her books. So yeah, we're gonna be reading this one. For roll number 2, we got the purple, which is normally non-fiction, but the prompt was TBR mug. I will insert a clip here of what I pulled from the TBR mug. From my TBR mug, I have 2 TBR mugs. This one is my sequel one. It's got characters from To Kill a Kingdom. So let's pull from this one. We'll go with this one. Promise I'm not cheating. Grey Sister by Mark Lawrence. So as you can see, I pulled Grey Sister by Mark Lawrence. This is the sequel to Red Sister? Red Sister? Was it Red Sister? I think it was. it's been a long time since I read Red Sister, so I might have to get a little recap of Red Sister before I begin this one. But we have basically warrior nuns. Hasn't Netflix just cancelled that series? Anyway, yeah, we have Nona, who is saved at the point of execution by a nun in the first book and taken to a school where she's trained to become a assassin, warrior kind of person. But there's a lot of people out to get her. I don't know why. I can't remember. It's been a while. So I will be reading this one for my TBR mug. The second prompt for roll 2 was a fantasy, and the prompt for that was about Fae. So I'm being a little cheeky here, and I'm bringing in my buddy read with Charlotte. This is Empire of Storms by Sarah J Maas, the 5th book in the Throne of Glass series, and we took a break from it. Well, I took a break in December from this while Charlotte finished off the 4th book, which was Queen of Shadows. Unfortunately, Charlotte doesn't read chonkers as often as I do, so she needed a little bit longer to read Queen of Shadows than I did, even though, to be fair, I only finished Queen of Shadows in November because I listened to the audiobook. But we're now going to, from January, start having 2 months to read our buddy reads because the books are getting bigger, and it just gives Charlotte that chance to read the books without too much pressure. But it also helps me as well because I do have a lot of books on my DBR. So the fact that I know I've got 2 months to read this releases some of that pressure for me as well. So everyone knows what Throne of Glass is about. We have Selena Sardothian, who is taken from a sort of prison camp in the first book, and she's brought to the king's castle to take part in a tournament to become the king's assassin. And the story continues from there. So yes, I will be reading this for the About Fae prompt. Most of Sarah J Maas books have Fae in them, so it's no surprise. For roll number 3, I need to do this. For roll number 3, we got that, oh, why am I holding this? No. We got the blasted bomb book. Shot myself in the foot with that one, didn't I? Anyway, so I will be reading Tad Williams' Shadow March. It's over 600 pages. It's a lot of pages, and the writing's very small as well. So less said about that, the better. And the problem with the bomb book is I have to read it in the month that I win it. Do you win a bomb book? I don't know. Or I get a punishment. That's the only time I will punish myself for not reading a book on my TBR, is if I don't read the bomb book. Because it's a bomb book for a reason. So yes. But the second prompt for roll number 3 was non-fiction, and the prompt for that was more than 4 words in the title. So this was very difficult, actually. There wasn't many on my non-fiction shelf that fit this prompt, so I ended up with this one. This is The Wars of the Roses, The Conflict That Inspired Game of Thrones by Martin J. Doherty. So it is this one. And basically it's a book about the War of the Roses. The history, the background, the parliament, Richard, Duke of York against Henry the Second. Was it Henry? No, Henry the Sixth. Jesus, Nicola, call yourself a lover of history. So yeah, Henry the Sixth and Richard of York, Richard the Second, I think. Richard, the fun fact, by the way, Richard the Second, his remains was found under a car park was it Leicester? I'll have to check that fact. But I remember that just less than 10 years ago, I'm sure it was, they found Richard II's remains under a car park. So yeah, there you go. Little bit of trivia for you. But yeah, always been interested in the Wars of the Roses. So yeah, I will be enjoying reading this. This book, I think, was published after that discovery. Well, this was written in 2015. And I'm sure it was before then that his body was found. I will have to check that fun fact for you. But that's the one that I'm going to be reading for that prompt. For roll number 4, our first prompt was for fantasy, and that was to read the sequel of the last series I started. Now, there was a couple of series that I started in December, but one of those sequels is going to be used for a later prompt. You'll see. Well, you won't see, because I haven't. Anyway, so I went with the other one for this prompt, and that is Legendary by Stephanie Garber. This is the sequel to Caraval, which I did read in December, and thoroughly enjoyed that first story. And I believe that the sequel is going to follow a different set of characters that were in the first book, but the characters that we follow in Legendary were kind of side characters in the first book. Very confusing, but yeah, I really enjoyed the first book. I can see now why it has been a lot of readers' favourites in the past. Caraval is about this game that people are invited to play, and you don't know if it's real or part of the game or what, but we have a female character who has been wanting to play this game for years and years. She's been writing to Legend, who is the creator of the Caraval. She writes to him for years and years saying, please, can we come and play your game? And then she never hears back from him. And then eventually she gets a letter back saying, here's some tickets. And the fun ensues after that. Lots of put your teeth in, Nicola. Lots of twists and tricks was what I was trying to get out. So yeah, nothing is as it seems in this story. So very intriguing. I absolutely enjoyed the first one. Spoiler there for my December reading wrap up. So yes, I will be reading Legendary for a sequel of the last series that I started. The second prompt for roll number 4 was a middle grade, and that was over 450 pages because of course I didn't have enough big books on my TBR for January. We had to add some large middle grade as well, but don't worry, this one's a floppy one. It's a floppy one. And I don't know about you, but when a book is floppy like this, it makes it so much easier to read. And so I tend to read it faster. Does anybody else feel like that? This one is The Neverending Story by Michael Ende. Him. This was gifted to me by the lovely Charlotte for my birthday this year in November. And yes, I cannot wait to read this. I am a massive fan of the film. The Neverending Story is probably definitely my second favourite film ever. The first is Hocus Pocus, then it's Neverending Story, then it's The Little Mermaid, actually. You didn't think about that, did you? I bet you thought The Little Mermaid was first because I love mermaids. Well, no, Hocus Pocus is first, the first one. We don't talk about the second one. Don't talk about that one. Then it's The Neverending Story, and then it's The Little Mermaid. I love the film. Don't touch it. Hollywood does not need a remake or it's already had sequels, but we don't talk about them either. Just Neverending Story has one film. We do not talk about the sequels. But yeah, very, very excited about this. We have a boy who is reading a story that is coming alive. So yes, very excited for this, but it's a chunker. She is 511 pages. So yes, like as if we didn't need any more big books on my goddamn TBR. For roll number 5, our first prompt was for a contemporary, and for that one I got a random number generator. So let me run to the clip of where I generated that number. Okay, so I have my random number generator here. Let's randomise a number for the contemporary. Number 56. So I will get the one that's nearest or closest to number 56 if 56 has already been read. So as you can see, I got number 56, and I will just show you on my my notepad that number 56 right there. Does that look familiar? Because yes, I randomly number generated Beach Read by Emily Henry, which happens to already be on my January TBR. So I turned to my bookish friends and I said, hey, help me out here. What would you do in this situation? And the general consensus back was, help yourself out and use the book for both prompts. So you know what? I'm going to bloody do it. I've got a lot of big books on this TBR. So I'm going to use this book to fulfill 2 prompts. The set on a beach or near a beach or whatever it is. And also the random number generator. So thanks a lot for that, random number generator. You helped me out where Bookgammon did me dirty. So yes, it's my rules, my game. I have a lot of big books, all right? I'm gonna count it. I asked friends and they said I could, so I'm going to. Shh, you. That's Bookgammon having a bit of a hissy fit because I beat her. I won. I won't win. Okay, moving on. Did I? Yes. So the second prompt for roll number 5, yes, was a fantasy, and the prompt for that was a 5-star prediction. Now, I don't have this book in my hands. It is just taking a while to get to me from Amazon. Yes, I do buy off Amazon. It's an Amazon printed book, published book. In December, I read Wicked by Jennifer L. Armentrout, and you will get to hear my thoughts and opinions on this in my December reading wrap-up, which should be with you within the first 10 days of January. But just so you know, I'm currently reading the second book, and so I've ordered the third one. And that should be coming to me within the first week of January. So I will be reading the third book in the trilogy by Jennifer L. Armentrout in the series as my 5-star prediction. So that kind of gives you a clue as to what I felt about this book in my December reading wrap-up. Yes, if you follow me on Goodreads, you might already know how I feel about this book. But that is that one. And for our last roll, which was roll number 6, one of our pieces managed to get home and the other one landed on the fantasy space. The prompt for that was a blank of blank and blank. So this doesn't quite fit that title format, but it kind of 2/3 of the way does. It's not a something of something and something, but it is daughter of smoke and bone. So we're only missing the A. If this was a daughter of smoke and bone, it would fit it perfectly, but it's not. It doesn't have the A at the beginning. So I figured this was as close to that prompt as I was going to get. So this is, as I say, Daughter of Smoke and Bone by Laini Taylor. I have read her, what is it called? Strange the Dreamer duology eventually, and really enjoyed it. I say eventually, it took me 2 years to read the second one. So this one says, in general, Carew has managed to keep her two lives in balance. On the one hand, she's a 17-year-old art student in Prague. On the other, errand girl to a monstrous creature who is the closest thing she has to family. Raised half in our world, half in elsewhere, she has never understood Brimstone's dark work. Buying teeth from hunters and murderers. Nor how she came into his keeping. She is a secret even to herself, plagued by the sensation that she isn't whole. Now the doors to elsewhere are closing and Carew must choose between the safety of her human life and the dangers of a war-ravaged world that may hold the answers she has always sought. Laini Taylor's writing is very lyrical, very beautiful. It paints a picture in your imagination. So I'm very excited to finally get to this book. It has been on my shelves for a few years now. So yes, I would like to get to this. So that is that one. And that was it. That was the last book for Bookgammon TBR. So it works out at 10 books. 3 of them are over 500 pages. I do foresee that some of these are going to be pretty easy reads. The third book in the Wicked trilogy by Jennifer L. Armentrout, I can fly through that because I have flown through the other two. Beach Read should be pretty easy because it's contemporary. And the last Emily Henry book I read, the Book Lovers one, I read pretty quickly. And Alex Neptune, Dragon Thief. Is it Dragon Thief? Yeah, Dragon Thief. That should be relatively easy because it's less than 300 pages. So I'm not too worried. No, scratch that. I'm really worried about my... What a way to start the new year. Hey. So that is Bookgammon for January 2023. What do you think, guys? Do you think she did me dirty? I think she did. I think she did me dirty. She always does in January. Why does she do that? But that is it. That is my Bookgammon TBR. Are there any books on here that you're like, you know what? I'd kind of like to pick that up myself in January. Would you like to buddy read with me? I don't know. Let me know in the comment section below the video. But thank you very much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like, comment and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.